We're joined with Jim Ashby here at BRFM from the Sheppey Fire Station here on the Isle of Sheppey. Now, bonfire night is rapidly approaching.
Right.
So what safety advice do you have for us, Jim?
Yeah, we've run through a few safety bits and pieces that people can adhere to. Taken from the firework code, and of course that can be brought up on the internet on the Kent Fire and Rescue website, of which there's a link on the BRFM website. So a few things that you should just bear in mind when you're having your fireworks and bonfire. And just a little a figure that over the past 5 years, about 350 preschool children were injured. That's nationally, not in Kent. 350 preschool children were injured during the bonfire season. So it's really the kids that we're looking out for. They're particularly at risk. It's a great way to spend an evening this time of year. So just a few ideas to keep your family safe when you're using your fireworks and your bonfire. Before the display, we'll only buy fireworks from a legitimate retailer. Plenty of places up and down the high street where you can get your fireworks in a nice, safe, boxed condition. So only buy them from a legitimate retailer. Inform your neighbours that you're going to have a fireworks party. Just a little bit of courtesy, really, just in case they may have concerns. Mostly probably regarding their pets and what have you. So just a little bit of consideration and just inform your neighbours. You never know, they might want to come around and enjoy the fun with you as well. So a little bit of concern, just give them a knock, say you're going to let them some fireworks off and they might want to hide the cat or dog away. Read the instructions in the daylight. So once you've brought your box of fireworks, always get them out and have a quick read of the instructions at home during the day before you let them off at night. And it's always a good idea for one person to be in charge of the fireworks itself. So an adult, of course, should be purely in charge of arranging the fireworks, and he or she should have a good idea of how and where they're going to let them off. So one person should be solely in charge of the fireworks rather than people just helping themselves as such. Things you may need on the night to help yourself, well, a torch, of course, to remind yourself on the instructions on the side of the firework. Like I say, it's a good idea to look at them during the day, but have a torch at hand so you can read the instructions, and of course you're illuminating the area that you're lighting the fireworks as well. A bucket of water is handy just for small fires that may occur on the ground. It's very dry still at the moment. And of course sparklers, good place to put your spent sparklers is in a bucket of water. So again, that's handy to have by. Eye protection and gloves. We live in the big world of health and safety, and certainly in my job that's one of the things that we use day in, day out. But if you've got eye protection and gloves, then it's always a good idea to use them. Projectiles and hot objects aren't particularly kind to one's eyes and hands, so it's always a good idea to have something like that at hand. A bucket of soft earth to stick the fireworks in is also handy as well, so a bit of preparation perhaps, and think of where you're going to be setting your fireworks up. And if there isn't any soft suitable ground, then a good bucket of soft earth is always handy to use your fireworks within. Proper launchers and Catherine wheels is always a good biggie as well. Quite often see people trying to nail a Catherine wheel to their fence or whatever, and quite often they go spinning off in whatever direction. So again, just try and be prepared in what fireworks you've got and how you're going to let them off. Most rockets do come with their own launchers, but just be prepared in where you're going to put your launchers and Catherine wheels for your rockets and what have you. During the display as well, be prepared for your rockets, where they're going to land, what direction is the wind blowing, and try and set them off into the wind, and have some sort of consideration of where the fallout zone is going to be, where your rocket is going to land. I'm sure most people don't want rockets landing on their nice conservatory roofs and what have you. So maybe just set one off and get a good idea of where your rockets are going to be landing. So a little bit of consideration in that aspect. And you really shouldn't be letting off fireworks after 11 o'clock at night. Again, it just goes back to considering your neighbours. Safety wise, well, don't let your fireworks off close to your body, always be at arm's length, and use the taper that comes with the fireworks within the box. Don't use a naked light such as a lighter. Always use the taper that comes provided within the box, and again use your torch as well to provide that extra bit of lighting whilst you're setting the fireworks off, so that's quite important. The good one, the usual ones, don't ever go back to a lit firework if it has failed. Most fireworks have about an 8-second fuse, an 8-second delay, and it's always tempting to go back and and see why the firework hasn't activated. But again, that is where your bucket of water is going to come in handy. At the end of the display, at the end of the evening, if you are aware of one of your fireworks hasn't go off, don't be tempted to try and get it going again. Please put it in the bucket of water to make it safe. Of course, simple things: don't put fireworks in your pocket. Leave them in the box. If you've got a metal box, try and use a metal box. If you've got a considerable amount of fireworks, then try and store them in a metal box throughout your display, and of course keep the lid closed. And always let a firework off one at a time. I know it's tempting to make a spectacular display for the family, but always let one off at a time so that you're in control of everything that's going on. Bonfires aren't so popular nowadays, but if you are considering a bonfire, really it should be about 60 feet away from any houses, trees, hedges, fences or sheds. You don't want a bigger bonfire than you expected by setting your shed alight, so a little bit of consideration again in where you're going to have your bonfire, and think about the consequences of the wind direction and anything that's surrounding the area. And use domestic fire lighters to get your bonfire going. Please don't use petrol, paraffin or any other flammable liquids, as I'm sure you can quite imagine what consequences that can have. In general, the fire service isn't kept particularly busy on bonfire night, because people probably listen to shows like this and get good information. Hopefully, and people are always more confident and when they're letting their fireworks off. And of course, if you are concerned about having entertaining your kids, then take them to an organised display. There's plenty locally lately on the island. So the safest advice really to enjoy firework night is to go to an organised display locally and let someone else take all the safety precautions off your hands and enjoy their display.
We are joined with Jim Ashby from the Sheppey Fire Station here at BRFM.